Mike wants to achieve big things in life. He wants to build a thriving online business, get in shape, and find the love of his life. Yet, when it's time to sit down at his desk and to do some work, Mike just can't focus, it's too boring. He gets distracted by his phone, and it doesn't take long before he's mindlessly scrolling on TikTok and on Instagram. Silly Mike, what are you doing? If he wants to make his dreams come true, he will need to develop the ability to focus on something intensely for a long period of time. He needs to do the boring work. Now be honest, is this you? Do you have big goals, big dreams, yet for some reason you can't force yourself to take action and be consistent? If we haven't met before, my name is Fred, and just a couple years ago I used to be completely broke and depressed. I hated my life. Fast forward to today, and I am now running a profitable online business and living a life I never thought I could have. And that's exactly why in this video I want to share with you how you can achieve anything you want in life, whether it be getting your dream job or building a profitable online business, getting in shape, or even finding the love of your life. Boredom is the key to success. Now I realize that this might sound like a bold claim, because after all, how could boredom actually lead to success? It's because it leads to focus, and focus leads to success. Contrary to popular belief, the reason why most people don't achieve anything substantial in life, why they don't make their goals and dreams come true, it's not because they lack the skills, the intelligence, the work ethic, or even the capabilities to do so. It's because they can't focus for long periods of time without distractions, so naturally they can't get stuff done. In today's modern world, with all of the distractions that we have around us, social media, TV, parties, your friends texting you, if you can develop the ability to focus by being bored, you can get ahead of 99% of people and obtain every single thing you've ever wanted in life. So how come most people can't focus? How come most people will have clicked off this video by now? After all, the information contained in it could completely turn their lives around. Yet most people will just click off to go watch some kind of entertaining thing. It's because their brains are in a constant state of hyperstimulation. If you're constantly on social media, not only are you wasting your time on something which is totally unproductive, so you could instead put that time and energy into building a business, into getting in shape, into going out and trying to find a loving and caring partner. But not only that, it's also destroying your brain's ability to focus. Why? Your phone, social media, TV, junk food, video games, these things will always give you far greater doses of dopamine than doing the boring things that you need to do to reach your goals. Eating a burger will always be more rewarding for the body than going and doing an intense workout session. Watching a movie will always be more fun for your brain as opposed to sitting down at your desk and doing some boring work for 2 hours. That is why if you truly want to become extremely successful, I'm not just talking about doing something on the side and it brings you maybe a couple $100 extra per month. I'm talking about life-changing money right there. The best strategy that you can use is to go through periods of deep, intense focus. In those periods, you remove everything which has nothing to do with reaching your goals. This means that your body and brain will constantly be in the game. Even when you're not specifically working, your brain will be thinking about ways to improve your work. You'll get ideas suddenly out of nowhere. That's how the subconscious mind works. If you think about something a lot consciously, then when you're not thinking about it, let's say you're taking a shower, meditating, going for a walk, now ideas will suddenly come. I don't know if you've ever had this, but when watching a movie or a series or even reading some kind of fictional book, even when you're not reading the book or watching the series, now you start to think about it. You start to think about the plot, about the characters. It's because your subconscious mind is always on. When you go to sleep, you're unconscious. Your conscious mind is asleep, but the subconscious mind is always active. Recently on social media, the concept of doing some kind of monk mode protocol became insanely popular, and for a reason. Now you have to be very careful if you do this because it's not sustainable. We're not robots, we're not designed to be constantly working every single day of every single year. It's not possible. So what I invite you to do is to set a specific time frame, let's say 28 days, and then you take like 5 days of complete rest. Now sometimes you will in fact see people who are completely addicted to stimulation and yet they're successful. They can't function unless their lives is a constant battlefield with chaos everywhere. But honestly, chances are you are not like that. And you need to understand that in business and in life, there are levels that you need to work through in sequential order. What gets you to $1 million a month, it's obviously not the same thing which will help you to get from $0 to $10,000 a month. With each level will come new challenges and new things to do. And if you are a beginner in business or you just started your own online business, you are trying to climb to the top from the bottom. The success of your business or lack thereof is resting solely on your shoulders. You don't have any employees, any contractors, so it is your responsibility to sit at your desk and to do the boring work. You can't just take a day off whenever you feel like it, because if you do, now no one is going to do the work, so you won't move forward. You'll need to be able to sit behind your computer screen a couple hours a day and do what needs to be done. But if you're willing to roll up your sleeves and to get to work, believe me when I say you can have everything you've ever wanted. If you want to start your own online business, you want a life of true freedom and true abundance, but you have no clue where to start, I've recorded a free video in which I'm going to analyze every popular online business model. Together we'll take take a look at the pros, at the cons, and I'm also going to share with you the 3-step process that you can use to get your first customers as quickly as possible. The link is in the description below. Now we need to talk about the paradox of the century. Now what is that, you may ask? I'll tell you one thing. It's never been harder to win than ever in the entire history of mankind, but at the same time, it's also never been easier to win. That's the paradox. It's never been easier to win because a couple decades ago, if you wanted to become extremely successful, to make 6, 7, even 8 figures a year, you wanted to open up your own business. If you came from a low income or even middle class family, you were pretty much screwed. It was incredibly difficult to start up your own business venture. You needed lots of startup capital, and you would have needed to know the right people, to be within the right inner circles. You would have needed to buy some land, to open up some factories, to hire people. It would have been hard to do. For plenty of people back then, having their own shop, their own business venture, it was the dream of a lifetime. And most people would not even reach the point where they open up their business, because to come up with all the money necessary to start, they would need to save up a lot of money all of their lives. And so with the internet nowadays, all barriers to entry have been removed. Now you can start your own online business for free. Now some businesses you won't be able to start them for free. You'll need to spend at least a couple $1,000, but other businesses can be started with less than $50. So now more than ever, for that reason, it's never been easier to win. I mean, nowadays, if you have a laptop, a steady internet connection, it's possible to become a millionaire in less than 5 years. I'm not saying everyone will do it. I'm not saying it's a guaranteed outcome, but it is possible. Some people manage to do it. Back then, that would have been impossible. But hey, at the same time, it's also never been harder to win than it is currently. Why? Because we are constantly hyper-stimulated. So now we can't do anything which is boring. So sitting down behind the computer to do some deep work becomes very complicated. Because now you've got Instagram, you've got TikTok, you've got notifications on your phone constantly, you have video games. There are so many ways to distract yourself from reaching this big goal that you have, that now getting to work and focusing deeply for long periods of time is probably one of the hardest things that people do. But if you can honestly take the time to train yourself to focus and to be consistent at whatever it is that you do for years, you are already ahead of 99% of people, and you're guaranteed to become successful. At this point, success only becomes a matter of time. I've never seen someone stick at something for 5 years and they didn't end up massively successful. The truth is, most people quit before they get lucky, before it's their time to shine, before they get what they want. And so then they say, oh, this doesn't work, I tried, but it doesn't work. No, you just quit. And I mean, look at your competition. They're ambitious, they want the best things in life, but hey, they're addicted to scrolling on TikTok, to playing video games, to eating sugary or processed junk food, going on dirty websites. They can't focus for 45 minutes in a row because they're overfloading their brains with so much dopamine, so much constant stimulation. Of course they can't do the work. It's too boring in comparison. That's the downside of having too much dopamine in your system, because now, unless you do all those hyper-stimulating activities, you are depressed, you hate life. So you need to do these things not to feel better, but to not feel like crap. And then it prevents you from getting everything that you want in life, because the extraordinary things that you want, they are difficult to obtain. If becoming a millionaire was that easy, everyone would do it. If getting in shape were that easy, everyone would do it. It's the same thing. But that's who you're competing against. So if you can just focus for a bit, be consistent, and refuse to take no for an answer, you do that for a couple of years, trust me, you'll be ahead of 99% of people. Now the truth is, we have been poisoned. So not only does social media take away our time and our ability to focus, to reach our goals and to be happy, but it constantly makes us compare our average day to the highlights, the best moments of the top 1%. And in fact, I would even go as far as saying the top 0.0001%. Understand this, social media is not realistic. On my Instagram, I only post pictures of the nice stuff. I'm not going to post videos or pictures of myself taking a crap or doing some deep work, because quite frankly, no one cares. But countless scientific studies have shown time and time again that the more you use social media, the more depressed you become, the more self-conscious you become. It completely steals away your ability to be present in the moment, to enjoy the daily things, to enjoy the seemingly insignificant things in life. How many people just drink coffee every morning, but they don't even get to appreciate the taste of the coffee anymore? First, because they drink so much of it, they're addicted to caffeine without realizing it, but not only that, they're never focused in the present moment. When they constantly see fancy stuff on social media, now they can't appreciate drinking their cup of coffee. It might sound like a silly example, but that really goes to show you the effects of social media on your brain. I personally only use social media to learn from other people, to consume educational content. I barely go on Instagram, to be honest, and I only have an Instagram because of some friends and to have an online presence for my online business. That's literally it. And to become successful, you need to be in the game long term, not just for a week, not just for a month. So if you are constantly comparing your average moments to the best moments of the top 0.1%, you'll become so dissatisfied with your current life, you will hate everything you do. And so when you sit down at your desk to do some boring work, you're not going to get immediate results. You don't build multi-million-dollar businesses overnight. Like they say, Rome Rome was not built in a day. And so since you're not going to see immediate results, you're just going to quit. So what's the cure? Like I said not too long ago, the concept of doing a dopamine detox or monk mode protocols became really popular on social media because people became aware of this issue. They couldn't focus because they're too hyperstimulated, so they needed a way to fix this. Dopamine detoxes and monk mode protocols are great, but they have their flaws. Now if you truly want to change your life, here's what you need to do. You want to honestly delete social media apps from your phone. Like I said, I personally don't use social media apps unless it's for business. Sometimes I use them to text friends, family, but that's it. And even for your business, you don't need to have the app on your phone. You can use the web desktop version instead. And then what you want to do is to go into hyper-focused periods of time. So you set a specific time frame, let's say 14 days. You're going to work, focus intensely, and then when you're not working, you're going to be at the gym, reading, meditating, doing things which will help you to recover and to do great work the next day. Then you can take, let's say, 2 days off, and then you repeat until you reach your goal. You need breaks, I'll tell you this, because otherwise you're going to go completely crazy. But if you can learn to be bored, you will crush your competition. That is completely sure. Now, like I said, if you want to figure out what's the best online business to start, the link to the free video is in the description below. And with that said, I'm waiting for you on the other side.